her record speaks for itself. I mean, especially in this room. I don't have to explain to any of you in this room what she's done. I will say at my internationalist meeting this weekend, it was, people looked at it and said, "Oh, Coach Gasso," and I'm from OU, and I said, "Yeah." They kind of took notice. So you're known internationally. And that's right. You're already known internationally. So, but, you know, thank you for the great turnout here. Thanks for all of our partners being here. We greatly appreciate each and every one of you, and look forward to talking a lot about softball. And Coach Gasso, thank you for saying yes to leading our program. And we'll get into it a little bit later on how the process was and things like that. But Coach Gasso?
Well, thank you, Cress. Wow moment right here, right now. A lot of familiar faces. Thank you all for coming out. This moment is truly special in my career, and it feels like a dream come true to be appointed as a coach of Team USA. There's a lot of responsibility to that, and I honor all the coaches in the past and watch their work from afar. And to be handed the baton means a lot to me. Being chosen for this role is the highest honor a coach could ever receive. And I am both humbled and grateful for the confidence that USA Softball has in me. My goal is to make Team USA the best it can be during my tenure, and I firmly believe that we will put in, I don't firmly believe, I know we will put in the hard work necessary to earn a gold medal in LA 28. And that has been the goal since the Olympics has, been a part of softball. And I was able to attend the first USA Olympic Games in Atlanta, and I was just a very young coach at OU. And I watched that and watched Dot Richardson just celebrating like crazy. And it was some really amazing moments, and I felt so honored to be there. But never in a million years would I tell you that I thought that I would be sitting here right now. I just always kind of stayed in the background until I thought it might be the right time for me. So I'm really excited to get started, especially with the Pan American Championships in Colombia and the World Games in China. We hope to take our first steps in that journey. The style that I have at OU is going to be tweaked a little bit because these are seasoned veterans and women. So it's going to be a collaboration together of how we're going to work, but some things are going to be introduced that I think a lot of the athletes have not been able to work with, and that is the analytic side and body tendencies and things that they have not maybe seen before is going to change their approach towards what we're doing. So I'm really excited about that. So there's so much to accomplish between now and our first event, including coordinating schedules and selecting the coaches who are going to be part of the program over the next 4 years. So I look forward to getting to know the athletes. And what's really, really important for me is to create a culture where we all can exist. And I know everyone is fighting in America to be one of 15, and the process is going to be tough, but it's going to be fair. The culture is going to be elite. And if the culture is not elite, then changes are going to be made. But you've got to have 15. I really think that when we have a group of 32, the culture should feel and look different. And that is that we are going to applaud each other. We're going to connect with each other. We are going to be, I'm going to be watching them like sisters. Yet I'm the older sister. They're the younger sisters. That's kind of how it's going to look. I'm also passionate about generating finances for these athletes. They give up their career to celebrate the United States. And the goal and dream of every little girl is to be an Olympian. And to think about the millions of softball players and travel ball kids around the nation And narrowing that to 15 seems like an impossible feat, but we will find the right 15 that fit, that can get the job done. But financial support for our athletes and creating a program that enables fans to contribute to the success over the last 4 years is really important. And so not only do I want to really push these athletes to the point of excellence, but I want to do everything I can to help them financially not feel like they're giving up their world and struggling. They deserve this, and I'll fight for that, and we will get it done. And I'm happy that I've got 4 over here with Aubrey Leach, Hannah Flippin, Kelly Maxwell, Tiare Jennings, and 2 came in from out of state, and 2 are right here in Norman. So I thank them for being here, and all of you all here. It means a lot. It really does mean a lot that you're here and ready to support this, and the idea that potentially, is that the right word?
Proposed.
Proposed opportunity for Oklahoma City to be hosting 2 Olympic events is off the charts. And that alone gives me goosebumps to know that not only is it in the States, and I know a lot of the athletes wanted it in LA, and I understand that completely, but this is going to be a first-class event all the way around. It is going to change the city and hopefully change the state and ultimately change the way USA is looked at in softball when we bring home that gold medal. So thank you.
I will open it up for questions. Patty, I want to ask you about 1984 when the Olympics came to your hometown. Did you get Olympic fever that year? And just, can you recollect 1984 in LA?
That's a long time. I was just out of high school, but yes. I think that I went to Olympic volleyball because it was in Long Beach, and I thought, yes, I think I was there. Amazing energy, people everywhere. It just felt different. It felt like nothing I've ever felt before in the way of a sporting event. And just to see international athletes competing against the Americans. I do remember Jim Gasso and I were dating at that time. So it was a big deal for us to get that opportunity.
Yeah, Patty, I want to ask you about just the logistics of how this came together. And you talked about thinking about this as a possibility. When did it start becoming real to you? And just how did this all come together that you're sitting here talking about coaching the Olympic team?
I've been kind of in and out of the Olympic process and have gone to some training camps, things like that. I had kids who were young at that time, and I just felt that it was a really hard thing to leave them. And already on trips, when we're taking trips from OU and traveling all over the country, I had to get not family members, because my family members are in California, so it's neighbors to help raise my kids who were great friends of mine still. But now that they're grown and I've got grandkids, it's time. This is the time. It's in Oklahoma City. But thankfully, Craig and Chris and the committee wanted to reach out and talk with me, and I think everyone has seen just the constant winning that's happening at a high level in Oklahoma, and that, I guess, made sense to them to reach out to me, and so we had some long conversations that really made sense.
Patty, what's your expectation for, how your full-time job will now dovetail with this job as well?
I would say from my side, I've talked again with Crystal, about trying to establish a team and name a team a little bit earlier than what we normally do, so we can get really good training. The training grounds likely will be here at Devon Park and Loves Field and maybe even Marita High. So training would be set up here. There'd be a lot of that in the fall of 2027, really a big hard grind there. In 2028, like Craig said, we've talked to Joe. We're gonna try to schedule OU together with USA Softball and go to a lot of tournaments together. Have them play in our tournaments at home. And if there's any feeling like I need to step away, I know that I can do that when I need to do that. I have great assistant coaches that are probably waiting for me to retire. They're that good. They're that good. So I have no nervousness about this, but I really have to, I'm gonna commit to both, but if I feel like USA Softball needs me, I will be there. And that's been talked about extensively on both sides. You just asked a question.
I know, but nobody's gonna raise their hand.
Okay. You don't know who's behind you.
Do you want to ask a question?
Go for it. You already got it. Go for it. Go for it. You already got it.
All right, Patty, you alluded to the fact that you sound really excited about the fact that the Olympics are potentially coming here. But I have to think that you, and maybe Craig could speak to this as well, I mean, feels like this is only gonna blow the lid off what was already gonna be a big event. Have you started to field ticket requests from people? I mean, we're 3 years
Yes,
away.
actually, yes. Family members, actually. It's surreal that I'm speaking to you as a representative of USA Softball and the Olympic team. It's surreal, but I'm so hungry for this. I'm so hungry for change of how I want to create this. And again, no offense to anyone, because everyone did it their way. But I think we have some really great secret sauce at OU that I'm ready to share with USA Softball to get them prepared and ready for a huge challenge. But it's here, and we can practice on this field as much as we want. And there's so many benefits and opportunities for us to just really make it our home. The fans are gonna come from everywhere, just like they do at the World Series. But I'm so excited for Oklahoma City. I mean, is it ever gonna come back here again? I don't know. But this to me is a once in a lifetime opportunity that can change this city, can change the state. And I'm so excited for that. I really am. I think as many people that can get involved and businesses get their hands on this, businesses invest in these athletes, it'll be another level. So I'm sitting here with chills as I'm talking to you about it, because I can envision it in my mind.
Patty, we've got a question from the WBSC on Zoom.
Who's talking?
Me, back here.
Oh.
Jordan?
Can't see you.
So what are your thoughts going into, so Team USA will be in the World Cup in 26, 27, and then Pan American Games. So kind of go into what your midterm goals are for these competitions going into LA 28.
I've got to get our system implemented and what I know I want for the athletes. By then, I have to definitely have a good idea of what the coaching staff is going to look like. I do see myself having some of the elite. I need elite hitting coaches. I need elite pitching coaches. And I need some of the old goats who have won gold medals, who know how to do this. So I have a really nice idea of blend. Don't ask me names, because I am not gonna say them, because I'm still working on it, but I'd like to have a balance of coaches so that the same coaches don't have to go on every single trip, yet they all know each other's systems, and it'll be an easy transition for our players, but I need the elite coaches that are running those shows. I'm the manager. I love defense. I love to call games. I really do my research as to what to do in that way. I think the former Olympians can help me in that as well. But we're going to have the best of the best looking at video, looking at swings, breaking it down, adjusting when needed. We're going to give these athletes every answer they could ever want answered will be answered, and giving them the weapons to do what they need to do.
Okay, we've got one more from them. So what are your thoughts about the overall development of international softball and where it stands today?
I guess I'm gonna really find out more as I dive into it. I think the excitement of the countdown for the Olympics are about to happen. I'm anxious to get into different countries and see how it works. I still have a lot to learn, but I'm anxious for it. And it really would help if we continue to go into countries. I'll just tell you where I was. Less than a month ago, I was in Samoa. And Samoa has some unbelievable athletes in this country. And Samoa could be a really strong softball organization if they develop that. And so I had some conversations with them just to talk about how they might try to get that going. But there are some countries out there that need a lift, that need some help. But the more countries we can get involved, the more this is a worldwide event versus just Australia, Japan, Canada, Mexico, USA. I mean, the more, the better, I think.
You mentioned in your opening statement the collaboration you're hoping to get. How do you want that to work with both the coaching staff and then the athletes, former Olympians, all that, as far as continuing to build on that?
These athletes are elite, so they know what they're doing, but it's not, hey, we want you to do this. It's, I want to show you something. Check it out. What do you think? What do you see here? How would you make a change? I would recommend this, but what do you think? Can you do that? Can you feel that? It's those types of things. It's not, this is how, I'm not that. Even with our team now, I'm not that. I've learned to change with the times. I think I know and I can manage what our players need. Communication is extremely important, and that's one thing that I will guarantee to USA Softball athletes is you will be communicated to. We will be in order, we will have schedules, we will share the information. I really want to take each athlete and do a lot of work with them, testing, so that we know where the weaknesses are and share that with them. So collaboration, communication, this is a joint effort. This is not us telling you what to do. It's sometimes you're gonna tell me. I'm gonna ask you and you're gonna tell me.
Patty, you mentioned this is a dream come true for you, but when softball was taken out of the Olympics, did you maybe think this was just never going to be possible, and how great is it to have it back?
Yeah, I kind of felt that, but I just don't know that I ever envisioned myself as being the head coach back then, just because I had a family, and I just didn't think it was the right time. But when the Olympics, when softball was not in the Olympics, it was really heartbreaking for a lot of athletes, a lot of coaches. The goal is to make sure that never happens again. I don't know how that works, but however I can help. I know that we've got Craig is one of the leaders in the sport across the world, and I know that he's doing everything he can to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Patty, are you? I don't know if there we go. Patty, are you excited to get to coach someone other than OU players? You've been with OU for so long, and I know you have some of your athletes here, and maybe you'll get to coach them too. But is that exciting to you?
It is, because I can see them. I've played, I've been doing this for 31 years now, so I remember when Hannah Flippin was playing. I remember when Aubrey Leach was playing. They're just elite athletes, and it's just, I love the OU Sooners. I don't want them to start texting me saying, why? I love you all. I love you all. It's been wonderful coaching them and watching their progression. But what's different here is they've already reached that pinnacle. So how much further can we take these athletes to be beyond elite? Because that's what it's going to take. And that's what we're going to put the work in for.
Yeah, Patty, you talked about the importance of the financial aspect of things and supporting the athletes. Curious, what have you learned over the last few years with the NIL and the way that that's evolved that can help you out in this role and making that a reality?
Yeah, it's commitment to understanding. NIL is tricky for a coach because it can kind of work both ways. But this is a no-brainer. These athletes are giving up their careers to spend the next 4 years training and working. And some of them can stay in their careers, some of them cannot. But when we get closer, they're going to have to give up their jobs to do this. And that's different. I mean, the athletes in college are getting money to go to school. And they're getting money from school to put in their pocket. And I mean, USA Softball, we're trying to make this something that everyone knows about across the country, across the world, that we are going to take care of these athletes at another level. I think you've seen through social media, unfortunately, but fortunately, there are some female athletes that are, showing at the Women's Basketball Championship, this is what we have versus this is what the guys have. And I just don't want this softball Olympic team to feel like they are not treated at the highest respect, because they should be for what they're doing. And that is what I'm really going to work with Craig and Chris and anybody else who wants to help us get this campaign started, to make this facility and make their lives, make this facility great. It can be better, and we all know it, and we can make those changes, but to make their lives stress-free, because that's what they're dealing with right now, is a lot of stress on how they're going to pay their bills, where they're going to live. And I just want them to showcase USA Softball as, look what they're doing here. Look at this. This is how it should be. This is elite.
This question is for both of you. USA Softball has been blessed with so many great Olympic coaches. Patty's the first female head coach of the team. What did that mean to the committee, and what does it mean to you, Patty, to be the first female coach of an Olympic team?
You go first. I'm gonna take a sip here.
You need to take a rest. First and foremost, when we went into the process of the committee, we went into it with one objective, and that was to pick the person we felt like could take us to that gold level. I mean, we have finished with a silver medal, unfortunately, in 21 and in 2008. Those teams were prepared. Obviously, we're missing a little something there. And our goal was who's going to tell us and who's going to make us believe that they can take us to that gold medal. And that's what we were looking for. And, each one of the individuals we talked to, they had their plans and things like that. But when it came down to it, like I said earlier, her passion in what she could do for our program and things, that's what won it out for me from that standpoint. But, it's great that obviously female sport being led by a female coach. Coach Tarr's done a great job prior to that when she was with us the last 3 or 4 years, but we were looking for the best person to take us to that next level.
Another phenomenal honor. to be the first woman to lead a team, USA Softball, onto the field. I feel a little bit of pressure in that, but I love pressure, so it doesn't bother me one bit. I to be walking, not in front of, but behind these athletes when they walk through these gates and onto the field is going to be probably the highlight of my career and my life in softball, which has been a long time. So I'm honored to represent women coaches who sometimes get overlooked. So this is a great honor for me, and I will do everything in my power to win that gold medal.
Any more questions?
Patty, I know OU softball's been a factory. How hard is it gonna be when you get down to the 15 players to have to say no to some of your former players?
That's probably the hardest thing I could imagine, because these athletes, they're adults, they're women, and they've been living their life for that moment, and it's hard. I remember when Kaylani was put on the reserve side of things and how hard it was for her. But you have to make choices, and you have to make choices that fit. You know, you're talking about 15 athletes. These athletes have to be multiple position athletes. So every infielder needs to know how to play every position on the infield. Same thing with the outfield. Some infielders can play outfield. Not all outfielders can play infield. No offense, because there are just an elite level of outfielders out there. Catchers need to play the corners. Pitchers, if you can hit, awesome. If you can hit and play first, even better. So with 15 athletes, you have to really see what they can do to help you. Injury happens, no problem. We've got the next man up that can do a lot of things. That's what this 15 are gonna have to be like, is just having a lot of skills and a lot of abilities besides just hitting.